pose with the bands. Pose with the pose with the put the pose with the bands. Pose with the pose with the put the pose with the bands. Pose with the bands.
Wow. The claimant, Mrs. Suhaila, suffered permanent blindness in her right eye following the second eye surgery carried out by the first defendant, which is Dr. Aina, an ophthalmologist. The procedure was conducted with the assistance of the second defendant, which is Dr. Aisha, who served as the attending anesthetist during the operation. This unfortunate outcome has since raised concern about how the standard of care provided during the medical intervention.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Suhaila. How are you feeling today?
To be honest, doctor, I'm quite worried. I noticed fresh blood in my eye yesterday and the discomfort hasn't gone away since the first surgery.
Yes, I reviewed your case this morning. It appears that your retina may have detached again. This can happen, unfortunately, and it's critical that we act fast.
Detach? Again? Are you sure? Can we do a scan to confirm it?
Based on my examination and your symptoms, I am confident it's a recurrence. A scan would take time, and delaying treatment could lead to further damage. I don't want to risk your vision.
But I just want to be sure. What if it's not that serious? Isn't it safer to confirm before going in again?
Well, I understand your concern, but we are dealing with a time-sensitive situation. Trust me, this is the best course of action right now.
Okay, and the surgery, is it risky?
Well, every surgery has some risk, but we will take all necessary precautions. I have done many of these procedures. You will be under sedation, and we will handle it carefully. So don't worry, Mrs. Suhaila.
Can anything go seriously wrong? Like losing my vision?
There is always a small risk, but let's not dwell on the unlikely outcomes. I will need you to sign the consent form before we proceed.
I just hope I'm making the right choice.
All rise. Please be seated.
My lady, I shall now call the claimant, Mrs. Suhaila, to the stand.
Please proceed.
Now, Mrs. Suhaila, thank you for being here today. Please take us back to the beginning. Now, can you describe what led to you seeing Dr. Aina in the first place?
So, I started experiencing a sudden blurriness and flashes in my right eye, and I was referred to Dr. Aina, a specialist in ophthalmology. After she conducted an examination, she told me that I had a retinal tear in my right eye, that I required a urgent surgical intervention. She said that time was crucial, that I need to avoid more severe further damage to my eye. I was frightened, but I trusted her. I agreed to undergo the surgery based on her recommendation.
And what happened after the first surgery?
After the surgery, I still felt some discomfort and there was a watering in my eye. One day, I sneezed and I noticed a fresh blood that comes from the right eye. That alarmed me. So I contacted Dr. Aina. She told me not to worry because she will schedule me for checkup. During that consultation, she said that the retina had detached again and that I need another surgery as soon as possible.
Did you ask her or question her for further confirmation?
Yes, I specifically asked if she could do a scan to confirm the diagnosis, but she dismissed it, saying that she could tell me just from the examination. I felt unsure, but again, I trust her judgment. He was an expert, so I believe her.
Before the second surgery, were you warned about any serious risks such as the possibility of going blind or waking up during the operation?
No, I was not. She only made general statements like, all surgeries have risks. At no point did she explain that I could lose my vision entirely or that I might regain consciousness during the procedure.
What happened during the second surgery?
I remember regaining my consciousness during the procedure. I felt pain and I instinctively moved. And I could hear the sounds in the operating room. Afterward, my eye was in severe pain. Later, I was informed that there had been serious internal bleeding. And eventually, I lost my vision in my right eye permanently.
Thank you, Mrs. Suhaila. No further questions, my lady.
My lady, I shall proceed with the cross-examination.
You may proceed.
I shall write. Miss Suhaila, did you sign consent form before the second surgery?
Yes, I did sign a form. But it only mentioned risks in general terms. It did not say anything about going blind or waking up during the procedure.
Is it true that you were informed that there is always a risk involving in surgery?
Yes, but when you say risk without giving clear details, how can I make an informed decision? If I had known that I could lose my eyesight permanently, I would have asked for more tests or even a second opinion.
Could it be possible that the doctor did mention the risk, but you simply doesn't recall due to the stress you were under?
I was anxious, yes, but I was fully aware and paying attention. If someone had told me I would go blind, I would definitely remember it.
Thank you, Ms. Suhaila. My lady, I now call my client, the first defendant, Dr. Aina, to stand. Proceed. Dr. Aina, let's begin with why you decided to proceed with the second surgery without scans. What was your rationale as doctor?
At the time, the patient symptom strongly indicate a recurrent retinal detachment, and this is based on my clinical expertise and the urgency of the condition. I made a judgment call. Time was an essence, and I believe performing a scan would delay the treatment.
My lady, I will now cross-examine the first defendant.
Proceed.
Dr. Aina, when Mrs. Suhaila asked for a scan, you refused. Why would a scan delay the surgery so much that it was worth the risk of misdiagnosis?
In my experience, the physical examination was sufficient, and I had no reason to question my clinical findings.
But wouldn't you agree the best practice, medical practice, involved confirming critical misdiagnosis with imaging, especially before major surgery?
Well, that's debatable. In urgent cases, immediate clinical intervention is sometimes necessary.
Yet, you didn't warn her that she could lose her sight entirely?
I gave her general advice. I didn't spell it out in detail. In hindsight, maybe I should have.
So you admit that not being specific may have denied him the chance to make an informed choice?
Yes, I can see that now.
Yes.
My lady, I shall now call my client, the second defendant, Dr. Aisha, to the stand.
Yes, please.
I shall now. describe the role in the second surgery?
Well, I was responsible for administering sedation and monitoring the patient's vital signs throughout the procedure. She was given a standard dosage based on her profile, and it was stable at first.
What actually occurred during the procedure?
Approximately midway, she suddenly moved. The patient suddenly moved. It is highly unusual. We managed the situation as quickly as possible, but by then the bleeding had already occurred.
Is this kind of common reaction at the time, Shah?
No, it's rare, but it's a known risk in sedation procedure.
Thank you, Doctor.
Finally, I will now cross-examine the second defendant, Dr. Aisha. Dr. Aisha, as the anesthetist, was it not your duty to ensure the patient remained sedated and didn't wake up during surgery?
Well, yes, that is indeed my responsibility.
So, if the patient moved, wouldn't that imply a failure in a medically adequate sedation?
This is one possible reaction, yes, but it could also be a sudden response by the patient's body.
Still, wouldn't tighter monitoring or higher dosage have prevented this?
It's possible. Looking back, perhaps a frequent check could have been done.
My lady, I shall now call the expert witness in ophthalmology to the stand.
Please continue.
Mashallah. Doctor, based on your review, was the second surgery medically necessary?
Based on my review of the patient's record, I would say that in principle, the decision to proceed with a second surgery for Mrs. Suhaila was medically justified. She presented with symptoms such as blurred vision, discomfort, and a report of fresh blood, all of which reasonably raised suspicion of a recurrent retinal detachment. That condition often requires urgent surgical repair. However, in this particular case, I must highlight that no confirmatory imaging was performed beforehand. The absence of such imaging raised concerns, as it could have either supported or contradicted at the clinical diagnosis. Having that data would have straightened the clinical decision-making process.
And doctor, was the internal bleeding during the surgery can be avoidable to the patient?
In most cases, yes. If the patient had remained still, it might not have happened. The movement played a critical role.
And was the anesthesia properly handled in your opinion, doctor?
The patient regaining consciousness suggests that the sedation was not fully effective. In eye surgery, even minor movement can have devastating consequences. This points to a lapse either in monitoring depth or sedation or adjusting dosage in real time.
Thank you, doctor. My lady, all the evidence and submission from the defense has been presented. That's all from us. May you place this on record. Much obliged.
My lady, I will now cross-examine the doctor. Doctor, you said there was a deviation from standard medical practice.
Yes, while there are cases where immediate intervention is warranted without imaging, this patient requested a scan. Ignoring that request, especially in a non-life-threatening situation, falls below what I would consider a reasonable standard care.
In terms of informed consent, was the patient adequately informed?
No, the risk of permanent blindness is a material risk in eye surgery. It should be explicitly discussed with the patient, not hidden under vague phrases like all surgeries have risk.
My lady, we have examined legal issues in medical negligence, including failure to disclose material risk, and inadequate monitoring during surgery. Therefore, that's all my submission. May it please this honorable court. Much obliged.
After hearing the testimonies of the expert opinion, the court finds that the claimant, Ms. Suhaila, was not adequately informed of the material risk involved in the second surgery, including the risk of total blindness. Furthermore, the second defendant, Dr. Aisha, failed to maintain adequate sedation during the procedure, which led to the claimant regaining consciousness and moving during the surgery. The court is satisfied that both the first and second defendant breached their duty of care. The failure to conduct a confirmatory scan and the lack of specific risk disclosure amounted to medical negligence. Therefore, the court holds that the defendant liable for medical negligence and judgment is entered in favor of the claimant. Damages will be assessed separately. This court stands adjourned.